This was actually my first attempt at the Meet the Artist post for this year. The first time I did it, I ended up deleting the whole file, so I can't find it anymore. The second time I did, I ended up finishing the entire thing, and it actually did not look that bad, but I also wasn't satisfied with it. But then I tried doing it again. This is the third time that I'm doing it, and I finally liked and enjoyed making this piece. So, my second attempt was the same content as the one that I'm making here, but they're both completely different styles and aesthetics. The second attempt looked quite stiff, and the colors just weren't it. So, I tried to change that with this piece and made the colors a bit more me. Recently, I've been very much obsessed with green, so this piece is full of green, you'll see once we get to the coloring stage. It's weird how when I'm working on a piece, I really love how it's looking, and then when I'm done with it, I just hate it more than anything. But then in retrospect, like even when I'm looking back at the time lapse right now, it looks fine. I actually love how the line art looks here, and especially the eyelashes. The mouth may be a bit weird, but the rest of it looks actually really good. I also just realized that all of my Meet the Artist posts have been made during the time of winters, so I'm always wearing something like a sweater or a sweatshirt in them. I'll try and change that the next time and maybe attempt one during the summer so that I can bring a little more diversity in the outfits that I put myself in. But I do feel I enjoy drawing winter clothing more than I do summer clothing. Like, I get to show off my anatomy skills a bit more in summer clothing, but I also really enjoy drawing chunky clothes, so that's a plus point of drawing my Meet the Artist during winters. Recently, I've been really enjoying those kind of draw with me videos, like the really long ones where the artists would just talk endlessly about nothing really. I like to have those on in the background, and it really feels like you are drawing along with someone. So that's also the kind of videos that I would like to make. If you want my videos to be even longer than they already are, I would definitely be up for that, even though they might not have as much talking as they do right now. I would definitely like to try to make longer videos if that is something you are interested in. I really wanted to do an interesting layout this year, but that just did not end up happening. I personally really found the one that I did last year to be very interesting. Like the thing that I did by including my dogs and the playlist on my phone. I thought that was pretty different than what you see normally. That did not happen this year though. Since my process here is largely the same as a lot of my other videos, I think I'd be pretty repetitive if I just talked about my process in this one as well. So I thought I would briefly talk a bit about all the shows and movies that I included as things that I love watching. So the first one is Arcane. I loved that show. It really made me want to make more art, even though I barely made fan art for it. It just restored my hope in animation. Like the animation that I've been watching recently has not been that amazing, and then I watched Arcane, and that literally changed my thinking about animation and how I thought of it. So it's a kind of show that I really want to work on sometime in the future because it has elements of 2D and 3D, so it's kind of like the best of both worlds, and it's the most perfect thing. It's got amazing storytelling, and I would love to work on something like that. I think I watch The Simpsons every day now. I made it till I think the 27th season, and then I got tired of it and started watching it from the beginning all over again. And I've done that like 3 times now, and it's still not gotten old for me. I love that show so much. Shutter Island and Inception are movies that I've watched very, very recently, and I love them both so much. I think I've watched Shutter Island thrice now, and I haven't gotten bored of it, and I find new plot points every single time that I watch it. I've really been into movies that are mind bending and psychological thrillers in general. I love watching them. I also watched The Menu very recently, and I really, really love that. After what feels like an eternity, I watched Shrek, and I realized how funny it was. And then I watched Shrek 2, and then I watched Megamind, and then I watched the B movie, and I realized how funny and how good these animated movies from the early 2010s were. These have definitely become my comfort movies now, and I can just watch them an endless number of times. Brave and Tangled are also one of the few Disney movies that I can watch an endless number of times. I just love Rapunzel and Merida, and I also love drawing them. And I say this a lot, but I never actually draw the things that I love drawing. So I might do some fan art for these two princesses sometime in the future. Does Merida even count as a princess? I'm not sure, but I guess I'll just keep referring to her as a Disney princess. Since I'm more into 2D animation, I also watched a bit of the spin off series that came after Tangled, and I really, really loved the art style in that. I would also love That's also another show that I would love to work on. The only two live action shows that I've ever watched more than once are Anne with an E and The Good Place. While I do love both of them a lot, I think I would pick The Good Place over Anne with an E. That is mostly because The Good Place is easier to watch with shorter episodes and it's much more lighthearted. And it's a really, really good show overall that closes everything off perfectly, and the characters are amazing, and I would probably watch it again after a while. I think that's all I have to say for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed watching, and I'll see you in the next one.